Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyanamita Sukhihotu. I'm Aliana and welcome once again to Sutta Discussion Day 28 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Tonight we are going to discuss the third session of Sigālovāda Sutta, the fourth sutta from the total of 10 sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. Whoever interested to join the Zoom class where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook Messenger. We are welcoming newcomers. However, this class also will be broadcast on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Please allow me to introduce about our speaker. Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima currently is the Senior Advisor at Patisota Canada, a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginners as well as expert students in learning Dharma in varieties of ways. Many people are interested in Dhamma Pariyesana, Patisota's most acclaimed interview series, which Bhante conducts on regular basis. You can check on Patisota with the link www.patisota.blogspot.com. Bhante Chandima earned a PhD in Buddhist Studies in 2015 from University of Sri Jayawardenepura in Sri Lanka. From 2012 to 2015, Bhante served as a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And in 2016, Bhante was a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society of the University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante. Thank you very much for the talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Aliana. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Sutta discussion, day 28. And today we will be discussing Sigālovāda Sutta for the third day. So Sigālovāda Sutta is such an interesting sutta because this sutta explains to us about, I would say, different aspects of, especially your life, lay life. And I think it's not even, applied to lay life, because it is also applied to life of every human being. So before we move on, let's respect the Buddha 3 times with the homage. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Okay, so we have Aliana, Lim, Kim, Brutus. Today your name is Sutta. Sita, and probably few more people might be joining. Suresh is already here too. And I got a message from already 2 individuals who are 3 individuals who are, a couple of them are busy for today, and one, I guess, got sick all of a sudden. So there are some, unexpected things happening, but they always can watch the video after. Anyways, I usually ask if someone would like to read, in order to see whether they are comfortable with the Pali, recitation. So who would like to read? And I would tell you today we're gonna resume our discussion from number 4, Cha Apaya Mukhani. That's the place somebody has to read. number 4 of Sutta central text, actually. Yeah, anybody wants to read?
Yeah, Bhante, I would like to try it.
Okay, yeah.
Cha apaya mukani. Kata mani cha bongana apaya mukani.
Bhogana.
Bongana.
Bogana. There's long A, ana. Bogana.
Bogana.
Mhm.
Apaya mukani na sewati. Surame raya maca pama tatana nu yogo ko kaha pati puta bogana apaya mukam. Vikara visika cariya nu yogo bogana apaya mukam sama ja bicarana boganam apaya mukam juta pamatatana nuyogo bogana apaya mukam papa mutano yogo bogana apaya mukam alas yanu yogo bogana apaya mukam. Is it that's all?
Yeah, that's only for that paragraph. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cha apaya mukhani. Cha means 6. Apaya mukhani. Apaya is a departure. Mukhani. I would say you had to add the meaning over here. That means 6 places to depart the money that you have. You would like to keep the money, your wealth. So apaya means kind of a departure, right? Another meaning of apaya means the hell, right? Hells in Buddhism. Katamani cha bhoganang apaya mukhani na sevati. Sura meraya majjapama dattha nanu yogo ko gahapati putta. Bhoganang apaya mukhang vikala visika chariyanu yogo bhoganang apaya mukhang samajjabi charanang bhoganang apaya mukhang juta pamadattha nanu yogo bhoganang apaya mukhang papamittanu yogo bhoganang apaya mukhang alasyanu yogo bhoganang apaya mukhang. Okay, so it is primarily aimed at a householder, someone like you, who is earning, right? And then how you would like to, how you are supposed to understand the places where your money, your wealth can be squandered, lost. So these are the 6 places. Huh? Katamani, cha, I think I already shared with you the meaning of cha. Cha means 6. Bhogana means money. I would say wealth, everything. Apaya mukhani na save. So a householder should not associate, should not be with these 6 places of squandering the money. It's okay. Before we jump onto the 6 places, let me ask you a question. Is squandering money a big problem in our personal life? But the squandering can be individualistic. Probably, I would say ABC people, XYZ. For X, it could be not squandering. He might say, she might say, this is what I want to spend my money on. Okay? But Y might think it is a squandering. C might mean that it is okay to spend money, but not a lot, right? So squandering money can be a very individualistic, a tricky thing, right? But there are commonly accepted ways of squandering money. So there is no harm to know what they are, right? So in Buddhist texts, this is one of the very important and then very famous popular places where the Buddha discusses about squandering money. So money should not be squandered. Not actually money, wealth. So money is a part of the wealth. Okay, number one. Sura meraya majja pama datthananu yogo ko gahapati putta bhoganang apaya. Gahapati putta means household, right? Gahapati. What is gaha in Pali? What is gaha in Pali? Anybody knows the meaning of gaha? Gaha. Gaha means geha, right? Geha. Geha has another form. We call it gaha. That means house. Pati means owner, the owner of the house, right? Gahapati, right? So the Buddha now talks to the son of Singala, Gahapati Putta, dear householder. Sura Merya Majjapama Datta Nanu Yogo Ko Gahapati Putta Boga. Now, I think you know the meaning. What does Sura Merya Majjapama Datta Pamadatta that means? It is one of your precepts, right? That simply means
It's the fifth precept, Bhante.
it is the fifth precept, but there is an additional Pali word here. What is it? Anuyogo, and you can see that. Sura, Mere, Majja, Pama, Datta, Nanu Yogo. That means Anuyogo. Anuyo means? Give me a second. Okay. Great. So Anuyogo means repetition. Now, not even squandering money for once, but there are people who are repeatedly squandering money, not just one time. You don't find it under the fifth precept. You simply say Sura Mere Majjapama Datta Na Veramani Sikkhapada. But Sura Mere Majjapama Datta Na Anuyogo Anuyogo. Anuyogo, I could type it for you. Yeah. Anuyogo. That means repeated activity. Huh? That means repeatedly somebody is doing the same thing. Huh? So, and you can also see that particular Pali word is always with every six squandering sources. You can see here, Vikala, Visika, Charya, Nuyogo, Anuyogo, Samajja, Bicharanang, Boga, you don't see that in there. But Jutapama, Datta, Nanu Yogo, Papa Mittanu Yogo, Alasyanu Yogo, Anuyogo means repeated activity, so that repetition. Huh? I want to tell you that how we're gonna do these six. I'm not gonna finish the six squandering places today. I will be finishing only 3 for today. Otherwise, it's a lot. 3 for today, 3 for next Friday. So what I'm gonna do is the first 3. Sura Mere Majjapama Datta Nanyogo means, if you can see the translation from the other document, you can see. And what 6 ways of squandering wealth are to be avoided? Young man, heedlessness caused by intoxication. That is the simple translation. Heedlessness caused by intoxication. Now, what's the problem of the intoxication? It is the heedlessness. Okay? Otherwise, somebody might not care about these stuff like Surami. I will explain to you one by one after giving an overview. So the first one is heedlessness caused by intoxication is one reason where you squander money. Second, Vikala Visika Charyanu Yoga. What is Visika? What is Vikala? What is Visika? Here. Here, see Visika. What is Visika? What's the meaning of Visika? Visika means street. Street. Jalana, in your country, you say Jalana. Is it street? Street. Then Vikala. Vikala means untimely. You are roaming in the streets at untimely hours. I think this is been changing over time, right? At the Buddha's time, it is very dangerous to walk on the streets at untimely hours. But nowadays, sometimes it's a little bit, permissible that you can walk. Just know that much. But what if you walk around 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you will see bad guys on the street. Untimely hours. Probably some of the criminals. And this is something that we had to understand from that time. But still it is relevant. Third one. Samajja bicharanang bhoganang apayam. See the translation? First one, as you see, heedlessness caused by intoxication, loss of heedlessness caused by intoxication, roaming the streets at inappropriate times. So roaming means, charya, then streets mean visika, vikala means untimely hours, inappropriate times. Then samajjabi charana. What is samajjabi charana? Samajjabi means partying. Abhicharana means habitual partying, right? Habitual partying is also not a good thing because, right? Because it mostly leads to a squandering, a waste of your money. And then Juta Pamadattananuyogu. What is Juta Pamada? Juta Pamada? Juta means gambling. It is called gambling. Right? So gambling is a source of squandering money. Is it a problem? What do many people say that when they want to gamble? There are many places for people to gamble. Casinos, right? Many places. Like how many places leave the casinos with a lot of frustrations around 3, 4 a.m. Right? They go with high expectations. Sometimes they lose all the money, but there may be a grim chance. There may be a grim chance. You can't deny that. But in order for that level to be achieved, a lot of people, they squander money and then they depart the casinos with lots of frustration. Right? Sometimes, remember what happened a couple of years back in Manila. This guy who went to the casino, and then what he did was, he did not kill the people. He burned all the casino machines because he was, I think he lost to many people. I don't know what happened. He burned all these machines. And the people died because of the smoke, right? So the frustration. So it's a source of squandering money. And then Papa Mittanu Yoga, you know the meaning. Papa Mitta. Mitta means friends. Papa means what kind of friends are they? Papa Mitta? Bad friends, evil friends. There is a separate section for them. We will be discussing that later. So Papa Mittanu Yoga, that means the company of the bad friends, association with the bad friends. Or we could say here, bad companions. In simple English, we can say bad friends, association of the bad friend, unwise people. And finally, Alasyanu yogo bhogana apaya. Alasyanu yogo. Alasya means laziness. Lazy. A lot of people become lazy for different reasons. Today I don't want to actually walk. Today I don't want to do my workout. Today they immediately they become you know, what do you call? They become lazy for some other reasons. If you want to practice Dhamma, you should have virya. That means energy, good energy, but in moderation. What happens to you if you have too much energy? You can't stop your mouth, you can't stop your hands, you can't stop your body, right? A lot of things can happen. So energy has to be balanced. If you run out of your energy, or if you have too much energy, if you're getting too much energy, all those are problems that can take us to. Okay, so there are 6. So the first one is intoxication by Suramere, and then that means excessive eating, drinking habits. Second is what you call roaming on the streets at untimely hours. Third is partying. The fourth is gambling. The fifth is bad friends, being with the bad friends. And then the sixth is laziness. So these are the 6 ways of squandering money. Any questions so far? So what do we have to understand at this point? There are 6 sources of squandering money. That means it is very individualistic too. Somebody might argue, I drink alcohol, but I know the limit, right? So I won't spend too much money. This is one argument. Somebody might say, I can walk on my street anytime. There is no crime, so I know my street very well, right? So some arguments like that. But still, there are opposite ideas too. But overall, these 6 sources of squandering money, wasting money, wasting wealth, is interesting, actually, intriguing to learn, because they will not bring you to harm. They will always help you to understand you and your vicinity, your environment. Okay, so we're going to be doing the first, second, third sources of squandering money. The first one, Sura Mera Yassa Cha Adinava. We're going to be discussing about what are the 6. Now, interesting. It's very interesting. Now, we said there are 6 sources of squandering money. Even within those 6, there are 6, what do you call? 6 repercussions if you are engaged with those, that you will have those results, have those outcomes to experience. We could say them as dangers, 6 dangers. Okay, who would like to read the Pali one? This is going to be number 5 in Pali. Sura Merayasa Cha Adinama. Nobody's ready at this point. Okay.
Let me read that.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody wants to type it. Okay. Sura me rayasa cha adinava. Cha kome gahapati puta adinava. Sura mera yama cha pamadata nanu yoge. Sanditika danajane kaleha pavadani roganam ayatanam akiti sanjanani kopi nani damsani panyanya dubalikarani veva chatam padam bhavati imeko gahapati pota cha adinava suramera yamaja pamadata nanyu yoga.
Great. Yeah.
I try.
Yeah, it's always, yeah, good try. Sura
try.
Merayasa Cha Adinama. Now it says there are 6 dangers of engaging in the what do you call excessive drinking, eating habits. But today I'm going to share with you something very interesting, which you might probably not have heard in your reading about Suramere. Now, can I ask somebody here, or all of you, what is Suramere to you? Lim, what are your thoughts about Suramere? Because this is the 5th precept. How do you take it? How do you translate it in your own way?
Not taken any toxicant drink.
Not taking
Yes.
intoxicant drinks.
Yes.
Okay, and others?
Addiction, Bhante. Addiction
Addiction. Okay.
to food, drinks, and anything else like handphone or entertainment
addiction.
as well.
Brutus, how do you translate? Are you with us? I think he's stuck on here. Yeah. Yeah, your phone is not working, but you can hear us, huh? That's a bad thing to hear, because I was thinking to ask you, what do you think about Suramere? Anyways, but you can chat though. You can chat if you could chat. What does it mean? Yeah, Kim, what do you think about the 5th precept, Suramere Majjhima? Because you're taking it every day, right? Every day, probably you go to the temple. So how do you translate it? I think you need to unmute.
No drinking alcohol.
Not drinking alcohol. Okay. Others, Sita?
Bhante, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Good time.
Now my phone okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I was asking everybody of you what you mean by the 5th precept, Suramere Majjhima Veramani. So how do you translate that in your own way?
Not to indulge in intoxication and alcoholic drinks.
Indulgence.
Indulgence, yes.
Indulgence. So that means now here there are some mixed, I would say, different thoughts too. Somebody saying not drinking alcohol. Somebody says that not indulging. Addiction, that means addiction. Indulgence means that you are too much about the drinks and kind of stuff. So we had to find the, what do you call, fine line about how we're gonna separate this thing. Actually, I think Sita is typing something here. Oh, Bhante ever told us about this before. It's okay to drink alcohol for medication or other use, but not to be addicted. Yeah, I kind of hinted about it, and also be conscious when making decisions. Yeah, that's something that we've been discussing. But today I'm going to be elaborating on that. This is pretty interesting. Okay, Sura Mere, is it one thing or two things? What do you think about it? These are 2 things. Okay, so let me just type for you in short. Sura. Second. 5 surah. Put like that. Huh? Surah, that means 5 surah. There are 5 surahs. And then Mere, yeah? What is Mere? How many Meres are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay. 5 Meres. Have you ever heard this way? So, okay, interesting. This is from the commentary. We had to learn that. 5 surahs and 5 Meres. Okay. And then we will find out the meaning. It is said that there are 5 surahs. The first one is Pitti Surah. Pitti Sura. Now we are discussing the suras. Huh? Pitti Sura. Pitti Sura means, I would say, okay, that means sweet stuff. Huh? So any any sweetness that emanating from anything, okay, that means sweetness can create sura, Pitti Sura. Okay. Somebody might find another Sanskrit meaning for this. What is the Sanskrit meaning? Pishtaya. Pishta. Pishta means, what is pishta? Starch. I would say starch. So starch. What is starch? Starch is kind of a thing that we can see. Is it a nutrient, dumb folks? Starch. Starch. Do we have starch with our rice when you cook rice?
Yes, Bhante is part
yes.
of carbohydrate.
Carbohydrate. That's one of the scientific ways of looking at it. Now, in olden days, when people cook rice, they did not cook with the rice cookers. So when the rice is getting cooked, something is flowing out of the pot. That is how they could manage not get to be obese. But now what happens is the rice cooker, all that stuff is going down in the rice cooker. So we are eating all that. Very interesting. The problem is you can't cook to let that starch go out, because it's going to be a hassle to your kitchen, right? But it's pretty interesting. So it is said that when you consume a lot of starch has some sweetness that is called Pitti Sura. Okay, the first one. The second is called Pua Sura. Pua Sura. What is Pua Sura? Pua Sura means flour. You could say wheat flour too. So the second one is Pua Sura, that means flour. Okay, we know that you use multi-purpose, flour to make some food, right? So that means if you over-consume flour, that means you get intoxicated too. The second sura is that. Let me type it for you. Pua Sura. First one is sweetness. Second one that comes from what we call starch. Second one is flour that comes from pua means flour.
Wheat.
The third one is called Odana Sura. This is pretty interesting. Odana Sura means rice. Odana means rice, right? Do we get intoxicated by consuming a lot of rice, dumb folks? We are. There's a Pali word for that, batta sammada. Somebody is intoxicated by rice. But this is how it is called in Sura interpretation. The third Sura is Odana Sura. Odana Sura means what you call rice. So rice is a sura, third sura. Okay. The fourth one is going to be, call it Kinnapakita. That means okay, Kinnapakita could be, we could say, it could be kind of a liquid type, right? Different liquid types. And then the fifth one is Sambhara. Sambhara Sura. That means okay, other things that you may use for other different things that you may use, probably ingredients, other ingredients that you use for the sura. So Pitti Sura, Pua Sura, Odana Sura, Kinnapakita, and then Sambhara Sura. So these are the 5 types of sura. Now these include these include welcome Vinita. See you. These 5 are called as sura in the commentary. Now, what is Mere? Let's talk about Mere. Now, Mere has 5 too. The first Mere is called Puppasava. Okay, what is Puppasava? Puppasava means flower juice. Flower juice. Can we get intoxicated with flower juice too? Could be, right? Over-consuming, right? Puppa, what is puppa in Pali? Flower. It could be Vannagandha Gunopetang, Etang, Kusuma Santati, right? And then the second Mereya is, now Dhamma folks, can you guess what does Mereya means? Juice. It is juice. So Sura could be something little solid. Sura can be something like solid. Mereya can be something called juice. So they mean for 2 areas of this idea. Okay, the first one is Puppasava, that means flower juice. Second is Palasava, that is flower juice. Pala in Pali means pala, fruit. That means fruit juice. Now, don't think that you're gonna, give up fruit juice from tonight. It is the extreme use of the fruit juice, extreme use of flower juice. Huh? Don't take it that way. Now you can think about it. It is not just these alcoholic drinks that I know. It is also some other drinks in my fridge all the time. If I drink too much, yeah, I'm gonna break that. Now you understand. You're gonna set the limits for that now. Palasava means the second Mereya, that means fruit juice. Vinita, I don't know whether you can hear us. We are discussing the Sigālovāda Suttas, what do you call, if you look at the Pali
4.
text, number 5, we are discussing the first way of squandering money. Under that, we are discussing Sura Mereya, source of squandering money. That is where we discuss now what is Sura, what is Mereya. Now we are discussing the Mereya part. Second Mereya is Palasava, fruit juice. The third Marya is, call it Madhvasava. What is Madhvasava? Madhvasava mean honey. Honey. Honey here means any what do you call bee honey, I guess. You know, I would say bee honey. If you drink too much of bee honey, you are coming to this point. Another Marya. The fourth Marya is going to be Gulasava. Gulasava means Gulasava means jaggery, no? You know the jaggery? Yeah, that is too sweet too. If you overeat, that is also you know, one part of the Marya. That's the fourth Marya. The fifth one is going to be the same like in the surah. Okay, Sambhara, the same. If you can see under Surah, Sambhara Surah. So Sambhara Asava, that means other materials that you may use to create different juices, right? Now, I think you understand what does Surah and Marya mean. Have you ever heard this in two ways and these, you know, ingredients, components of Surah Marya? Or have you ever thought that Surah Marya is only one? How did you learn it before?
Only one.
Now today you learn these are two sides of intoxication. Surah is one kind of intoxication. Marya is one kind of intoxication. Surah means solid kind of intoxication. Marya means mostly liquid type of intoxication. I would say the blended type of intoxication. Now you can see the pala means fruit, and how you get the juice, you can actually blend the juice, blend the fruits, right? Even the flowers, right? So anyways, now you can see Surah and Marya. Long time ago, I was thinking about how these two make intoxication. Now you can of course say maybe overeating, overconsumption. But here is what I found out. Okay. Tang sabbampi madakarana vasena majjam. How can these two sides, Surah and Marya, become majja? What is majja, Dhamma folks? Majja, Surah, Marya, majja pamana. Majja, what is majja? Majja is the intoxication. What's the meaning of majja? Okay, let me type that for you.
Intoxication.
Majja only means intoxication. From today onwards, you know. Now, the intoxication part is meant only the word, by the word called majja. Then what is Surah Marya then? Surah Marya means two types of intoxication, food and drinks, right? If you take this Surah Marya, what do you call Surah Marya, you know, isolated from the majja part, are those food and drinks going to be a problem to you?
No.
No. That Surah part
No.
and Marya part, they are okay to you because we always have fruit juice, right? There's no problem. But the problem arises when you use Surah and Marya with majja. That is why it is said, Tang sabbampi madakarana vasena majjam. Majja part, because of the majja part, those two types going to be a problem. That is not even interesting. This is the most interesting part. Pamada karanang yaya chetanaya tang majjang pivati tassa etang adivach. Then how can this going to be a problem in Buddhism? The problem arises at the place when somebody is going to drink Sura and Mere for the intoxication. That is where you're going to breach the precept, break the precept. Let's say you're going to drink a fruit juice now. Okay, I want to be intoxicated with this drink. And then, that is the break of the precept, right? So that now you might ask, then what about that I'm going to have a beer, but I have no intention of intoxication? Counter argument, right? But you know that beer might make you intoxicated if you overdrink it, right? But if you have an intention to be intoxicated, are there many people who drink different liquid kind of things and eat stuff just because they want to be intoxicated? Are there such people? There are many people like that. But there may be other people who just have a social drink, have a social kind of a treat. They have no intention to be intoxicated, right? So that's something interesting. Now, as Aliana said, addiction is the problem overall, but at the micro level, the breach or the break of the precept starts from an intention. Okay, today I have beer, I have whiskey. I'm gonna be intoxicated tonight. I want to be intoxicated. This is the place you're gonna break right away. But probably you're gonna get into a party, maybe a social party. You will have to have a social drink, but I don't want to be intoxicated. I'm gonna actually have my own limits with that. That is a different case. Because you have this thought, I'm not gonna be intoxicated, otherwise I can't drive back home. It's not good for me. Right? So that way is a different thing. Otherwise, who does not eat this stuff? Who does not eat starch? Who does not eat flour? Who does not eat rice? Everybody eats, right? Who does not drink flower juice? Who does not drink fruit juice? Who does not drink honey, bee honey? Who does not drink jaggery? Who does not have, everybody, right? The only difference is that you don't see the what you call high concentrated alcoholic drinks that are made out of these ones, right? They are also made out of these, right? By the fermentation. So, Sura Mere Majja Pamadatthana. There are people who want to drink for intoxication. And with that intoxication, what will it bring you in addition to intoxication? Pamada. You will be late for your stuff. Will you be normally late if you drink alcohol too much? Yes. You can't drive and you can't think and you are behind the schedule, right? And you are not nice to somebody. You are late in your good practices too. Okay, any questions about it now? About the Sura Mere part? It's pretty interesting.
Bhante,
Yeah.
what about the person who want to drink because he is very sad, he's full of sorrow, he cannot stand it, he's full of grief, so he wants to drink to get intoxicated and forget all the sadness. What do you think, this person?
That question has the answer. What is the answer? This person, the person that you are talking about, simply wants to drink alcohol just to be intoxicated, to forget about the problem.
Yes.
But do you think the questions will be finished? His problems will be finished? No, he will be sober after 2-3 hours, maybe on the next day. So will the problems be finished? No, tomorrow he has to drink again. She has to drink again. The day after also he has to drink again. Every day he has to drink again. What is this? If you have a problem, intoxication is not the answer. That intention to forget about it by desensitize your cognitive system is a part of Sura Mere, definitely. If you have a problem, go find a good service, maybe spiritually, maybe a therapist, right? There are many services for that. But simply drinking for that, It's not a good reason. It's not a good way of handling the problem as well as it's breaching, which is breaking the precept. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other question? I think this is an interesting topic before we jump on to the next one. Now the commentaries before you, till you ask some of the questions, I'm going to read something interesting. Kamma sakata panyang dubbalang karati. This is very interesting. When you drink alcohol, it is said in the commentary that it disturbs your wisdom about the kamma. I think it's very interesting. Because now, as the Brutus brought up, there is somebody who wants to, now not even somebody, there are many people like what you said in that interpretation. There are people who go to the bar, liquor shop, restaurants, and then they keep drinking. They think that the more they drink, the better they are with the questions, right? Because they can desensitize their mood, their mentality, their problems. But the problem at the same time is, if that person is a good person, is that because he or she does not look at his problems from a Paticca Samuppada perspective, cause and effect perspective, then she does not believe in the karma and its effect, right? So we have a different way of saying about panya. There are different types of panya, wisdom. One panya is cause and effect. I would say karma, wisdom about panya. Sorry, wisdom about karma. So that particular panya is disturbed by drinking. I would say become intoxicated. So it's a very big problem. Any other questions, folks, about Sura Mere? If you have no questions, let me ask you a question. What is Sura and what is Mere? That's interesting. What is Sura?
Solid.
Solid kind of food that can make you intoxicated. Can you name what they are, Kim? I saw that you're writing down there.
Rice.
What are they?
Rice. Rice.
You can start from a orderly way. The first one is Pitti Sura, I would say.
Okay.
Starch is one. And then
sweetness things.
The second is flour.
Flour, rice, liquid, and the material and ingredients.
Materials that are used to make solid, food that can create intoxication. Then somebody else can share with us about Mere. What is Mere? How many Meres are there?
5.
You wanna? Yeah, please. 5 Meres. What are they?
Juice.
Flower juice.
Fruit juice.
Fruit juice. Honey. Jaggery, and again materials to make the liquid.
Juice, liquid kind of drinks that could create intoxication. So then my next question to you is that how do these two make us break the precept then? That's the interesting part here. Simply talking about starch and all these things will not make any sense. So how does someone break the Sura Mere with these two types of intoxication? Majja means intoxication. So if somebody drinks or eat these two types, Sura or Mere, with the intention of getting intoxicated, then that is the break of the precept, or I would say Sura Mere. But can you ask somebody who is drinking too much, are you really want to be intoxicated tonight? That person might ask. what are you talking about? Don't you see what I'm doing here? Right? Because we are looking this from a spiritual point of view, right? Okay, any more questions about this part? The first source of
But
scoundrel.
Bhante,
Mhm.
here we drink, we consume this mera and sura
Mhm.
with the intention of intoxication. But because we are happy today, for example, we want to celebrate. For example, here people get married. They married. After the marriage, they give a dinner. When they give the dinner, they must provide alcoholic drinks. And then may everybody give plenty. Drink as much as you wish. Then you say you're a good host. So the intention is to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
So it's all right if we drink and with the intention to get drunk and be happy. They become happy when they get drunk.
Brutus, it's a very good point. So the person who is hosting on account of any event, marriage or maybe work stuff, maybe birthday, ceremony, I don't know.
Happy.
Yeah, whatever. He or she is happy probably to do it. But where's the problem? The problem is with the person who is consuming that too much. If the person who is coming as the guest to the house knows the limit, knows the level of the drinking, and knows that I'm having this just as a social drink, but not to be intoxicated, that's it. And do you think that if you get intoxicated in somebody's house, what kind of a interruption that you are creating to that person? I remember there was a man back in a certain country, back in Canada. If you talk to that person, he's always talking about Dhamma, all that. But he's an alcoholic guy. So he went to a place, he went to a party. He is the one who is drinking too much, not the other people. They don't even talk about Dhamma. And the person, one of my friends who is hosting that party, he had to call 911, the ambulance. The ambulance people came and they brought him to the hospital. See, the gentleman was okay, and he was just doing as it is as usual. But the people who come to the house, they should not mess it up, but they are messing up. Where's the problem? Those people who want to mess up the event. So Brutus, my thought is, I don't think that the host has an issue. The host is doing that because that is the customary ceremonial way how people do it. So the people who come to the event should know, where is my limit? How do I behave well here? That is how I look at it. And here, the problem is not with the drinks, not with the food, but how much do people gonna consume it? How do they gonna have their self-discipline in having those food and drinks? Don't talk about even the alcoholic drinks. What about the food? There are people who eat too much, right? And then they feel very sleepy, and then they talk gossip after that. This happens, right? They keep eating dessert and everything, and then finally now they can't even stand. Now then they start talking the gossip about other people, right? So all these are linked to many other non-virtuous problems. So as I said, the particular scenario that you were bringing up is not a problem, because there are many such occasions happening even now in the world. But the problem there exists with the people, how they're gonna consume the treat given by the host. Because I know if you want to serve, you're gonna serve it in the best possible way. And there are people who might say, this guy is not hospitable. He does not even treat us with some alcoholic stuff. Right? There are some issues on the other part too, the way how people think. So he or she might think about. That's why. So if you know the limit, if you don't have an intention to be intoxicated, then there is a way. Okay, if there are no questions, we're gonna jump on to the next one. That means Vikala. Oh, okay, I think we haven't discussed about the dangers. The first danger is Sandittika Dhananjani. Dhananjani means wealth. Sandittika means his or her immediate wealth is getting destroyed. What is this immediate wealth, some folks? You can see here, these are the 6 dangers inherent in heedlessness caused by intoxication. Loss of immediate wealth. That means you are risking your stuff, your things that you have, because you are drunk, right? You are extremely drunk. Probably you might be stolen, you might be robbed by other people, right? Other things also can happen. And then the second danger is kalahappa vaddan. Kalaha means fights. Is there a possibility of starting a fight when 2 people are drunk? Maybe when somebody is too drunk?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a possibility. Yeah, definitely there's a possibility. So it's a danger. Second one. Roganang ayatana. What is roga? Sicknesses. Drinking alcohol, I mean, excessively for intoxication. Drinking alcohol for intoxication, I would say, will create a lot of sicknesses. What are the sicknesses that can come to us if we drink alcohol excessively? Intoxication. Liver problems. It's pretty easy to understand. Liver problem. Right? So it is always carrying a risk. Then akitti sanjanani. Akitti means fame. Akitti means defame. That means people talk bad about you. This guy, this lady is drinking alcohol too much, causing a big problem everywhere she or he goes. There's a lot of bad reputation that you have. Not even that. Kopina nidangsani. That means you have no, what do you call, decency. See the translation here. It is said that indecent exposure. That means you are indecent. You don't know whether you are properly dressed. Right? So you are not in the right mind. Right? A lot of things can happen. Right? Only you will understand what happened just by guessing what happened last night. Indecent exposure. And finally, this is very interesting. Dubbali panyaya dubbali karan. That means panyaya means drinking alcohol for intoxication weakens your wisdom. That weakens your wisdom. So there are 6 dangers by drinking alcohol for intoxication. Is drinking alcohol okay to a Buddhist? Is it okay, now folks? Be honest to me. Be honest to me. Is it okay?
It's okay if not
It's okay.
drunk.
But drinking alcohol for intoxication, is drinking alcohol for intoxication okay?
No,
That's
no.
not okay.
That's not okay. Not
So
okay.
Otherwise,
drinking is okay.
because if I say drinking alcohol is not okay, we're gonna be outright liars at this point, because we drink
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things, but even the
Bhante,
medications. Yeah, Kim.
social drinking, okay, right?
If you have no
Yes.
intention to be intoxicated,
Yeah, I'm saying, you know,
and
like
if you
uh,
don't have any plans to intoxicate somebody too, and there are people who want to give a lot of drinking stuff to somebody. I like him to be intoxicated tonight. I like her to be intoxicated tonight. Your intention, right? That's too bad.
happy occasion, okay.
Yeah, I mean, happy, but you want to make sure that everybody's okay, because drinking alcohol for intoxication carries 6 dangers.
Yeah, like
Okay.
like what Brutus said during the celebrations. Normally you like to yamseng. Yamseng means drink, celebrate. So that's okay lah, but not over drinking.
Yeah, intoxication, I would say, because there is a problem with that word, over drinking. What is our over drinking? What is X over drinking? What is Y? What is C? They might say, I can drink 1 bottle. I can drink just a quarter of the bottle. I can drink a half. They have different ways of interpreting that. So I would say intoxication. Intoxication can happen at any point, right? There are people who drink a little bit of alcoholic drink and get intoxicated right away. Right?
Oh.
So then it is a matter of self-discipline.
Their level that they can tolerate.
It's an individual thing. Well, let's keep that to individual level, that you are not a troublemaker, problem maker in the event, right? Okay, let's go to the second one. Vikala chariyaya cha adinava. Now, as I explained to you, vikala means untimely hours. Charya, actually here, visika means a street. Charya means walking or just roaming about. Chakome gahapati putta adinava. There are 6 dangers of roaming about on the streets at untimely hours. Atta pissa agutto arakkito hotya. In simple English, I would say, if you roam about on the streets at untimely hours, then you risk your life. Is it a fact? When you
Yes.
Okay, it is a fact. So you have to be very careful. Second is puttadaro pissa agutto arakkito. Not even you, when you go, your spouse also will accompany you. You will bring your sons and daughters too, your children too. They all are carrying a risk, right? Because some folks don't take it this way. Now, your neighborhood might be a very safe, peaceful neighborhood. Nothing will happen to you if you walk at any time with the safety. But this may be a good idea that you have to keep in mind. Let's say you go to another country, you don't know, right? And then you start walking like in your country. What can happen to you? There are issues. You should only walk at the right time if you go like that. But this is a good idea. Then why you might squander your money when you roam about on the street at untimely hours? You may be robbed. Your family may be robbed. That's the reason.
Yeah.
Second. Third one, Sapateyam pissa aguttang arakkitang hoti. Who are the Sapateyam? Sapateyam here means, see, you can see, oneself, one's family, one's property are all left unguarded and broken. Your property. Let's say you go out of your house at untimely hours. The robbers will find out that you are not at home. Right? So they might then act looking at your time because you are out of the house. These are the things that happen at that time. The third danger. The fourth danger is Sankhiyocha hoti papake sutani. What is that? When you roam about on the street at untimely hours, other people will get to suspect you, right? This guy is walking at this time. Maybe he or she is doing something which we don't know, right? There is suspicion that can arise. Then, what's the last one? Abhuta vachanancha tasming ruhati. What is it? Abhuta vachanam. That means rumors spread. What is a rumor? Rumor mean
Not true.
Untrue things about you can get spread out. This is not a good thing too. And finally, bahunancha dukkha kandam purakkato. A lot of suffering, lot of problems can arise just because you want to walk on the streets, roam about the streets at untimely hours. I think that's a very clear way of looking at squandering money. Finally, what can happen is that you are losing your money, you are losing your wealth, you are jeopardizing, you are risking your whole family, your property, everything. So that's why the Buddha said, it is not good to roam about, walk on the streets at untimely hours. But at timely hours, it's okay. There's no problem. You can walk at any time, but not at untimely hours. Any questions about this part?
Bhante, now you're reading which number? Number what?
Number 6. Number 6 in Pali.
Number 6.
Number 6 in Pali. Number, I would say, number 9 in English translation.
Oh, number 6, huh? Number 6.
Okay, in Pali, this is number 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions about this? Because it's pretty clear that it's a very problematic thing if you start doing that, right? Are there any dangers from some snakes at night if you walk? Sometimes, if you walk at some places where there is a risk, because they might act right pretty bad at some point.
The forest.
The forest, yeah. Some bad encounters, some animals, maybe some street dogs. They might think the road is ours. You know, they always think like that. You got to be careful, right? So timely hours and untimely hours must be understood. Okay, let's go to the last one for today. Samajja vicharana sacha adinava. Let me ask somebody to read this thing. So who's going to read the last para for today, number 7? It's a short para. Maybe we can ask Brutus to. Ariana, yeah, go ahead.
Samajja bicarana sacha adinava. Cha kome gaha patiputta adinava samajja bicarane wa kacam wa gitam wa waditam wa akanam wa panisaram wa kumbatu nanti imeko gaha patiputta cha adinawa samaja bicarane.
Great. Aliana, there is one particular word. It's an interrogative word that we need to say this way. Samajjabi charana sacha adi. What is samajjabi charana? Partying. It doesn't say partying is bad, but what kind of partying is not good? If you see the translation here, habitual partying. See the translation, number 10. Habitual, there are people who always want to invite people. Let's do a party, party. Where's the party? Right? That always carries a problem, right? But, once in a while, you're going to have a party probably for your son's birthday, probably for your wedding, anniversary. That's okay, right? If you have that. But
wait, Bhante.
Yes.
I got one question asked on number 6. Can I ask on number 6? Wandering at night.
Yes.
Did they ever mention by the Buddha that the danger wandering at night, we may encounter ghosts and things like that?
That is one.
Harm to us.
Yeah, that may be one of the
such
reasons,
thing?
but it's not very, what do you call?
Mentioned here.
It's not publicly mentioned, but in the commentary it says. In the sutta, it doesn't say about animals and the ghosts, but in the commentary it says, yes, it could be. It could be. But
could be. Yeah.
But I think what you need to understand is it's mostly about criminal activities, crimes. This is my main emphasis, because in today's world you don't care about the ghost because you are pretty strong.
No.
So
human
it depends.
problems.
In Buddhism, we are asked to be strong. So in that perspective, the problems come from here, from the context of criminals, suspicion, crimes, and all that. Okay, so samajja vicharana sacha adinava. So here it means habitual partying will squander money. Yes, when you organize parties all the time, yes, it can cost a lot, and then probably other problems also associated with that. Chakome gahapati putta adinava samajja vicharana. There are 6 dangers from engaging in habitual partying. This is how we pronounce. Kwa nacham. Kwa means where. Kwa means where. Kwa nacham. Kwa gitam where. Kwa vaditam. Kwa akana. Kwa panisara. Kwa Kumbha Tunanti.
Kumbantunanti.
Okay, let me translate for you. Konachang, when you are into the habitual partying mood, what do you normally do? Konachang, where is translation? Where is the dancing? Nachang means dancing. And then Ko Geetam, where is singing? Where is singing? You are looking for all these shows and all that. Ko Vaditam, where is Vaditam means music, right? Music, instrumental stuff. Then Kwa Akhana, where are the stories? At that time, there were some of the parting ceremonies where people narrate stories. Story makers. Story makers also can make a concept. And then Kwa Panisaram. What is that? Panisaram means where is the applause? That means where do people applause all the time? Clap. He or she is looking for these places. And finally, Kumbha Tunanti. Kumbha Tunanti means beating the drums. Where is the beating the drums? Where are the people who beat the drums? Can I go? Can I participate? So when you are into the partying mood all the time, your mind always goes to dancing, singing, music, stories, and then what's that?
Dancing.
Yeah, dancing, and then stories at the same time, applauding,
clapping.
Yeah, and then drumming. So your mind always goes to these things. What will happen to you when your mind goes to these shows and concerts? You will have to pay some money. You will have to squander money all the time. Once in a while,
all the time.
Yeah, once in a while, it doesn't, seem to be bad if you go to a concert. Who says it's bad? But if you do it all the time, right? If you are so much carried by this show mentality, music mentality, dancing mentality, so you are ruining your spiritual life. And also you are ruining your money because you don't have money to go for 10, 20 shows a month, right? And you are spending. And nowadays, how much do you have to pay for a show? If you go for a very famous thing, you have to pay a lot, right? So that is how we have to understand the Samajja Vicharana part. So there are, again, 6 dangers. Kwanachang, where is dancing. Kwagita, where is what you call singing. Kwavadita, where is music. Kwa Akhana, where is storytelling. Kwa Panisarang, where is clapping or applauding. Kwa Kumbha Tunanti, where is beating the drums. So that means these are becoming dangers because you then start going to these places by booking and all that. All right. Any questions about the third part? It means the 7, Samajja Vicharana, or the third source of squandering money. Now, Samajja is a party. Actually. Samaja in Sanskrit means society. Samajja means that somebody who is stuck in that society too much. Okay. We'll take 1 or 2 minutes, and then we will, if there are no questions, I'm gonna just review in a minute, and then we can transfer the notes after that. So today we discuss 3 sources of squandering wealth. The first one is drinking alcohol for intoxication. Second one is roaming about on the streets at untimely hours. Third one,
Habitual party.
habitual party. That means you are partying unnecessarily. Doesn't mean that you can't party. It's okay. I mean, but there is a limit, and there is a way how you're gonna not partying. You are letting partying to take over you. There's a question here. Vinita, does cultural show also in this category? Yes, if you organize it every day, all the time. But if it is a periodical one, it's okay, because it's a symbolic thing. It's okay. Then even the temples also have their own cultural show. It's okay, but not every day, not every week, right? And also the intention of those events, right? Now, this mainly talks about the partying, like that involves drinking alcohol and all that, like those partying where people get together, not specifically cultural shows, but even the cultural shows, if you involve in them all the time, right, without any time gap, probably you are spending too much time on that. That also can be a samat job, because what happens in the show, because you are with other people all the time, right? You are then engaging with other people too much. Can you tell me any counter idea, not a counter idea, an idea that the Buddha talks about partying? Has the Buddha asked us to take some time, private time, and then contemplate about our life? Has Buddha ever said like that to us in the suttas? Or did the Buddha say always, hey, go to other people, talk to friends, be with them, drink, eat, don't be alone at home, on them,
No.
and then have the connections? What did the Buddha say about this isolation, and then maybe social engagement? How many of you can
Buddha
remember
said-
one? Yeah, Brutus?
Buddha said not to mix with the fool.
Yeah, that's what we discussed today.
Hmm.
Suramere. Now I'm asking, did the Buddha tell us in some suttas, or in particular, that we need to have some private time for us to practice, to contemplate our own practice? Has ever Buddha said something like that in the suttas? Without taking much time, let me tell you, yeah, he did. If you look at Dajjagga Sutta and many other suttas, Buddha says, Sunyagara. Have you ever come across this term? Aranye rukka muleva sunyagare tapikkavu. Right? When you meditate, you could perhaps be in the jungle, forest. You might be probably in front of a tree, and you might be probably in an empty place, empty room, empty hut, empty house. Right? Empty house doesn't mean you don't have a furnished house. You have a furnished house, but the social engagement is too low. I mean, you don't have people there sometimes. So you take some time to contemplate about today. How did I start my today? Did I say some bad words to other people? Did I badmouth? Did I rant? Did I complain about me or other people? How much have I been able to help other people today? Like a self introspection, right? So in order for us to do that, we need some private time, at least half an hour, right? If you are always with other people, can you think about it? No, you are with that social mentality. Okay, then when you are thinking like this, somebody comes close. Hey, can you have a drink today? Let's have a drink, So you're going to be influenced by those people all the time at that. So that's why the Buddha said, We need some private time. But there are people who are going to the extreme of that idea. They say, I don't want to be engaged with other folks. I want to be at my home all the time. That is also a problem, because you should have a balance of society and yourself. So the idea of what you call having some personal time, private time, is recommended by the Buddha. I think there is a question here. Dajagga Sutta, Vinita. It's a very famous sutta. I think probably you might hear from the monks when they chant. Okay, Dajagga Sutta in the chanting book. Okay, any questions? So from today onwards, if somebody asks you, what is Sura Mereya Majjapama Dattana Veramani? Now you have a clear answer. What is the clear answer? Sura Mereya are two things that can cause intoxication. Sura is one thing, Mereya is one thing. Sura means solid food, Mereya means juices, right? Sura has 5 food, Mereya has 5 juices. But where is the connection between the food and drinks to the intoxication? You are consuming those 10 types of food and drinks with the purpose of getting intoxicated. That is where how you're going to customize these drinks and food for breaking the praise. Otherwise, those food and drinks are okay. I mean, who doesn't like to have a fruit juice? I think that's okay. But the problem is consuming them for the intoxication. Intentionally, sometimes you forget about it for the moment. It's a very tricky point, huh? Because who doesn't know that this is bad? Okay, any questions about today? About the 3 sources?
Bhante, the Sura Meraya in the 5 precepts, I also heard one explanation which Bhante not mentioned. He says that if the consumption of the Sura and Meraya with the intention to get intoxicated, but he never lost his mind, he never become heedless, then it's okay. Is it true, Bhante? If he can drink, but he didn't become heedless.
Yeah, we did mention about the heedlessness today. I think after Majja, yeah, we did mention after Majja, we talked about Pamada Karanang Yaya Chetanaya. So that means intoxication naturally carries the heedlessness, right? Once you are intoxicated, that means, yeah, once you are intoxicated, that means you are delayed, that you are heedless, right? Because you are intoxicated. So, you can't act on you.
Yeah.
So
but
that means
he has consumed alcohol. He wants to consume alcohol, but he has no intention to be intoxicated. But because his friend asked him to drink a bit more, so he overdrink and become intoxicated. So the intention is not there, but the heedless is there.
It's a very, very tricky point you are mentioning. But I know that everybody who consumes alcohol, they know already that this can lead to intoxication. This can lead to intoxication. It's a very subtle. I would say it is as a no return. No return point of time. That means everybody who is trying to grab a cup of, I would say, glass of alcoholic stuff, maybe even the flour, juices, even an apple juice, if you drink too much, why not? You know that. I mean, unless you are not a Buddhist, I guess. I mean, even in other religious people, they also know to some extent. If you are a Buddhist, if you really know the Dhamma, I'm not talking to people who don't know these subtle, deeper meanings of the Dhamma. They might do whatever they want. Sometimes there are people who misuse these ideas. Might say, okay, I'm not intoxicated, so I want to keep drinking. because that person doesn't know what is really meant by Suramire Majjhimadatta. So what I interpreted through the commentary today is that it is a universal idea. That means if you drink alcohol for intoxication, you might say there is no intoxication, but there is always a chance that intoxication will come to you with drinking alcohol. So if you know that, then you are limiting the amount of alcohol. At the same time, you know the amount of alcohol, and then you are trying to make sure that you are okay at each moment, right? So all these are part of the activity of taking care of you in front of the alcohol and other food and drinks here. It's a self-discipline. But finally, what we can say about this thing, if somebody wants to know a plain explanation, is drinking alcohol prohibited in Buddhism?
No, Buddhism.
Then we all drink alcohol, because if you get sick, if you get a cough, the doctors might give you a cough syrup, which has alcohol, right? So what does the Buddhism say is that if you drink any food or beverage, I would say juice, as we said, Suramere, for intoxication, right? Because there's a fundamental teaching here. Everybody, even a child, knows intoxication. If you know it, even if you don't know what level you will be intoxicated, but if you know this is intoxicating, that is a break. Other than that, things should be okay. Okay.
Okay.
If there are no questions, so we're going to be wrapping this up by transferring good karmas. May all the good karmas that we've been accumulating today be transferred to all the departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. If the departed people were reborn in a painful realm like Naraka, Ti-Ratana, Peta, Asura, as we already mentioned, may they be able to be reborn in a better place by transitioning from that painful realm to a better place. If they are already in a better realm, comfortable place, may they be able to listen to more Dhamma, practice more Dhamma, and then finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi nyati nang hontu nyatayo. Idammi nyati nang hontu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idammi nyati nang hontu sukita hontu nyatayo. May the Deva Naga Mahitika also be able to share all these good karmas, and may Deva Naga Mahitika also protect all of you, the monks, devotees, participants who could show up today, who could not show up today due to different reasons, and all the people who are watching, joining, for these sessions now, later, and their family members and their parents, everybody. Be well and happy. At the same time, be protected by the Devanaga Mahitika for good health, quality of life, and prosperity and safety. May the Devanaga Mahitika also be well and happy and finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang. Sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambatang punya sampadang. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Devanaga Mahitika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkhang Lokasasanam. Akasattha ca Bhummattha Deva Naga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Desanang Akasattha Chibumatta Deva Naga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakhantu Mang Paranti Chirang Rakhantu Twam Sadati. We also make a wish before our main wish to be able to attain Nibbana. May we be able to be in the company of Kalyana Mittas, wise people who can teach us, guide us to attain Nibbana, not with the Pabamitas who can take us away from the path. With that, we're going to recite the stanza, the wish. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanibbana patya. Finally, may all good kindness we be accumulating in all these ways be supportive or helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana siddhisse niccang vaddha pachayinu chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti vivacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samidunchatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the noble power of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha help you to be safe. By the noble power of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, may all your sufferings go away, may all your sicknesses go away, may all your fears go away, may all you be safe and comfortable always. Have a good night, everybody, and see you then next
Thank
Friday.
you, Bhante. Good night.
Thank you very much, Bhante.
Bhante.
Good night. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, there's
Thank
a
you.
request